Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a lovely day. Thanks so much for joining me. Well, today we're going to take a look at the Simon Says Stamp March 2026 card kit. It's called Watercolor Bouquet, and there's so many fun goodness in here. It's fully packed. We're going to take a look and then we're going to create some cards using it. Okay, first off, I took it out of the box and out of the bag. And we're going to go over our stamp set, which is just gorgeous. It's called Watercolor Bouquet. Lots of blooms in here, foliage, and I just think this is gorgeous. So this is included in our kit this month. It's a 6x8 stamp. Also included are two 8.5x11 sheets of Ranger Tim Holtz watercolor cardstock. This is a wonderful watercolor cardstock. It's very heavy duty. It's probably one of my favorite, and we get two sheets in here. What I usually do is trim them down into quarter panels, so you actually get 8 A2 panels out of these two sheets. The top side has a little bit of texture to it, and then the back side is smooth. You can use either side with the Ranger watercolor cardstock, so that's included. Also included are envelopes. We get 4 envelopes. 3 of them are, they're all peel and stick here. Actually, all of the envelopes are peel and stick. But the colors, this is Field, and it's a metallic. This is Dull Pink, and it's metallic. And then this is Dandelion. This is not a metallic, it's just a flat color. But these match the inks that are in our kit beautifully. We also get a mini slimline envelope. It's a peel and stick too. I've never seen one of these and I just love that. So 4 envelopes included. I mentioned our inks. This is a specially curated ink for this card kit. You have Zest, Field, Marine, Rose, Violet, and Rhubarb. Beautiful spring colors. Perfect for stamping those beautiful images in our stamp set. And we get these. Love that. And the nice thing about Simon Says Stamp's Positively Saturated inks is you can watercolor with them. We also get, let's go over our tools really quickly. We get a water brush. This is a shorter one, so it's easier to manage. And it is, the tip on here is like perfect for watercoloring. Probably too close, but you see how nice that is? And you just fill it with water and you could do some watercoloring with your inks. I love that Simon included that. Another fun tool is we get a sprayer. This is a little plastic lightweight sprayer. These are great for travel too. Let me show you against an A2 panel so you kind of get a size reference. It looks like it's 5.5 inches tall. So it's a really nice sprayer. Okay, so water brush sprayer, and then we also get a distress blending brush. All you do is open it up. You see that the cap pulls down, and then you have some, these are tougher bristles. These are great for like stippling on cards. That's usually what I use these for, is stippling, but it's a nice little brush to add some detail to your card making. So that is included. And then also included are some foam squares. These are Simon Says Stamp's foam squares. Always nice to have in a kit, especially for me, because you know I use them a lot. Okay, so a full sheet of foam squares. Oh, also included is Simon Says Stamp's Pawsitively Perfect Silver Splatter Medium. I'm pretty sure this is like the gold. You would want to mix this up really, really well before you splatter. I know we'll add some splattering to my card today, so I'm going to wait to open this up. Because I want to get splatter all over the rest of the kit. Okay, I have some fun things to share with you. We have these are new, okay? They are called Basics Extra Large Easy Strips. And you know what the easy strips, you know what that means. It means there's a coordinating die that will cut these out. The reverse is black, and then these are just regular extra large easy strips. Okay, so if you see a reverse on the title, that just means it's black, but they're both the same. And let me show you. I have some add-ons that go with the kit, and part of the add-ons, this is not included in the kit, but Simon has the coordinating die. Look how fun this is. This is great for just strips on a card too. But let me open this up. So this is a rectangle, but there's different sizes. I'll show you at the end here. But the extra large strips are so nice. You would just line it up, run it through, And ta-da! You have a whole bunch of sentiment strips easily. Okay, and I'll link the die to this down below if you guys want to check it out. Okay, so we get 2 of the extra large easy strips. Also included, we get some doilies, and they're so pretty. Looks like we get a lot in here. There's 5 doilies, and let me separate them. Look how pretty. Doilies always will go perfect for tags, and I'll show you those next. But we get 5 of these, and they are, let me tell you, these are, look like 3.5 inch in diameter. So they're perfect for A2 cards. Those are, and perfect for watercoloring too. Doilies soak up the ink really easily. And then also included is some, is a yard of May Arts natural twine. And it's the perfect thickness, and I love this kind of twine for spring cards. So how nice is that? We get some twine in our kit. Also included, we get some tags. We get 2, these are number 8 tags, so they're larger. Let me show you against an A2 for reference. Larger than an A2, or taller I should say. And then we get, I would say these are standard. So 3 of the number 5 tags that are perfect for A2 cards. They do have the craft reinforcement on the front and the back, which is nice. And they're nice heavyweight, which is good. Maybe we'll make some tags today for, maybe we'll make maybe we'll make some cards with 3 tags on them. We'll see. And then we also get a sheet. This is Simon Says Stamps acetate. It's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of Simon Says Stamps acetate. Lovely. And then we get, oh my goodness, this is a nice weight. I like this weight. We get 2 pre-scored and folded card bases. That's not included. This one here is an A2 side folding card. Oh, this is really nice. I think I may have to get some of these because it's perfectly scored for you, and it is, I like a heavyweight card base. You see, this is my cardstock. Simon's is, I would say this is a 120-pound weight. It's a very nice weight. So when you get the kit, you're going to go, wow, this is a nice weight. And then we also get, and the fog's always a great weight. We get a pre-scored and folded fog card base. So I'm so excited about. So these are in our kit also. Also included is our sweet treat, and that is a whole bunch of goodness in our kit this month. I do want to mention some add-ons. For our extra large easy strips, Simon has different styles. Let me show you. Okay, we have the rectangles. We have the rounded rectangles. There is the banners. And then there's also some slanted diagonal strips. So all of these, depending on your preference, go really well with the extra large strips. So it makes card making really easy. So those are little add-ons. And then also an add-on would be the coordinating die set that goes with our watercolor bouquet. I'll be using this on my card projects today. And then I have one more add-on to share with you, which is Simon's brushstroke greetings, basic brushstroke greetings. Okay, this set here is beautiful for watercoloring because they have that whimsical brushstroke feeling. So Simon included this on their add-ons. Add-ons are, you can add, I'm not sure exactly about the details, but you can add add-ons to your kit with no extra shipping charge. I'm pretty sure that Simon does that. But that's our kit this month. Okay, I'm going to figure out a few designs, and then we're going to do a little quick and easy watercoloring. We're going to start by stamping all of our flowers at once and all of our leaves at once, and then we can die cut them out and then create our card projects. Okay, I'm going to use 4 of the inks in our saturated ink cube set. I have the full size, so I'm not going to use the minis. But I'm going to use Zest, Rhubarb, Field, and Marine for my flowers today. Those are the only colors that we're going to be using. But the designs that I'm using are making, you could switch out any colors that you like. If you like the purple and the rose, use those. Okay? But I think the rhubarb and the zest will blend well together, and I think the marine and the field will blend well together. So that's why I'm using those. Okay, I am going to use the textured side of our watercolor cardstock. You don't have to, but I think the texture side is just going to add texture. We're going to start with this. Let me scoot this over so you can see what I'm stamping. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to ink up with our lightest ink. Okay, I'm going to use zest. All my flowers will be with zest. Okay, and then with rhubarb. Okay, I'm going to use a finger dauber. I'm going to pick up some ink here, and I'm going to go along the edge, and I'm going to add a two-tone just on one side, and then I'm going to stamp it. Okay, I love those colors together. Okay, I'm going to continue with all of the flowers, do multiple sets. Okay, and I'm going to do all my flowers this way. I'm also going to do my leaves this way too. Let me show you how I'm going to do my leaves and my sprigs. Okay, this is this leaf sprig. I'm going to ink this up. Put this back. I'm going to ink up this leaf here with my marine. And then I'm going to add a little bit of field using a finger dauber. And I'm going to go around the edge. I think this is going to be really pretty. Okay, so basically it looks like half and half. Okay, that's what I'm going to do to all of my leaves and all of my flowers. We're just going to use those two colors, and I'm going to speed up the video like I mentioned, play some music. You can skip this part if you don't like it, but I'm just going to get to stamping. And then before I speed it up, I do want to mention too that I'm cleaning my stamps with micellar water. Micellar water is a facial cleanser. It's very gentle. You want to make sure that you get one that's alcohol free. And I just spray it on my stamp, and then I can wipe it off like this, okay? And then I'll repeat the process. So I'm going to get busy, and I will be right back. So all my stamping is done, and you'll notice I did bring in the rose ink. I think the rose and the rhubarb go beautiful together. I just love that color combination. And I think it'll break it up, the orangey yellow. It'll break it up a little bit too. So that's why I brought in the rose. Okay, so 3 flower sets and then 2 sets of leaves, and then I have the coordinating die set we're going to use, and cut everything out. And then these will be all of our flowers for all 3 of our cards today. All my foliage is die cut out, and I just love the spring colors of these. I'm so excited about it. Okay, what we're going to do next is take our little spray, and I'm going to go just directly over. We're going to do little sections at a time with our spray bottle. I'm just going to spray it, okay? And I kind of just like the way that looks. It kind of spreads out the ink. It is saturating them, but it does blend the colors a little bit more, which I like. So just add a little water to your die cuts. You may want to help it along with your water brush. Any harsh edges. But mostly the spray will work on its own. Love that. These are pretty saturated, but I am going to let them sit and air dry. But you can see it does curl them up a little bit, but it just blends them a little bit more, really creating a watercolor look. This one. Okay, I'm going to let them air dry. They're all nice and dry. Some of them lost their imagery. Like this one, you can't see the flower that we stamped, and that's okay. This one just kind of blended a little bit, but this one actually lost all of the stamped image. And that's okay. We're going to be doing a little tucking with it, and I don't mind. I love the watercolor look. Look how cool this looks. So neat. I'm going to take a little piece of cardstock, and we're going to build a little cluster. I am going to bring in my foam squares. I'm going to use the small ones so we can do a little tucking with it. I put foam tape behind here. We're going to start off with this one. Okay, and then let's tuck this flower underneath it. When I sprayed this one, I actually got blue on here somehow, and I kind of like it. Now let's add some greenery here. I'm going to add glue to the bottom here, and since we popped these up, I'm going to do a little tucking with them and with the greenery. And I'm looking to make it like a little round focal image. I'll take this one and we'll add this. Just kind of doing a little tucking with it. And I'm going to add one more over here. That. So this one is going a round circle. Okay, we're going to put this to the side. For my next florals, I'm going to build florals around this piece of cardstock. Now this is the same width as our tag. Okay, and so all of these flowers I want to go half, so I can cut some of these in half. I'm going to take this. Now this is going to go along the edge, so I can cut these in half. So I actually cut this one in half. I put glue behind here, and for this one, I'm going to go around the edge, keeping the middle of this open. Let me bring in a pencil here. Just use the pencil kind of as a guide, and I'm going to go around this entire piece. Foam tape. I'm just going to glue it directly on this piece of cardstock, okay? You want to add, I'm going to add some greenery too. I'm going to actually add it here. So that is our, so we have this cluster, and then we have this cluster. Okay, you just want to make sure that you're going around that cardstock, and you also want to make sure that will fit on your card base. So this will fit perfectly. Okay, so that's one. And then for my third one, I thought we would do a diagonal strip. So let me bring in another piece of cardstock. And then we're going to build a little bouquet on this little strip here. I think that looks good. So any of my white cardstock that I can see from underneath, I'm going to trim away. Lovely. Okay. Now, I didn't know how long I wanted it. I did bring in a cardstock to make sure that if I put this at an angle that my flowers would still be on it. I have 2 left over for a little extra teching, and then that's good. So now we have 3 clusters with these flowers. So we have a circle, we have a frame, and then we have a strip that's going to be a diagonal strip. Okay. Now for my tags, we're going to do a little bit of inking. I am bringing in an extra background stamp. This is called the Friendship Text. Any kind of text background you have would work for the card today, but I did want to bring in a little bit of brown. So go through your stamp sets and find a print stamp. I think a plaid would be really pretty too. I'm using my Simon Says Stamp Fawn ink. And I'm going to go over this, and we're going to ink up our tags. We have 3 of the smaller tags, and I'm just going to add this here, give it a good press. And I don't mind the distressed look, so I don't mind if it's plotchy. Okay, there's one. My second tag, we're going to do the same thing. And again, I don't mind if it's splotchy. Lovely. And then for my third tag, we're going to go horizontal. So we'll ink this one up here. And then we'll take our third tag, and I'm going to go this way with it. Just press it down. And it's upside down. I actually wanted this tag to go this way, so I'm going to flip it over. Let's try this again. Okay, just give it a good press. There we go. Better. Okay, much better. So now I'm going to bring in my splatter box, and we are going to break out our Perfect Silver Splatter Medium. Okay. I'm just going to stir it. Sometimes stirring it, this is faster. Okay, and then we're going to do a little, let's turn this way. Let's do some splattering. Stir this up, and then we're going to do some splattering with this right over the text. Kind of stirring as we go. Okay, I went ahead and heat dried these. I think if you were to air dry them, they would look nicer. But we have 3 tags. Okay, we have a craft reinforcement, and we're gonna fix that with some watercolor reinforcement. Okay, I have already dried these, but you see the way they look. Let me show you how I did this. To create it, I have some chiffon cardstock. I'm using one of my circle punches, if I don't break it. This is an old one that I've had in my stash. And then I'm also going to bring in a regular standard paper punch. Okay. What I do is punch a hole here, and then I use my circle punch. Then I punch out a circle here. Okay, and then this just creates a reinforcement. The hole on here is a little bit bigger than this one, and that's okay. I just went around the edge with the rose, and then also with the rhubarb. Went around the edge here. So this is what it looks like. And then I used my little spray. Okay, and then I sprayed it. And just like our flowers, that's how these, I let them air dry. But you see how they look watercolored? You see how they turned out watercolory? Really pretty. That's how I did this. And then what I'm going to do is replace the reinforcements. Let me put this to the side. And for all 3 of my tags, I'm going to replace the reinforcements here. I'm going to bring in a rectangle die, and I'm going to cut out a window. And I will do that probably with this one. Okay, I'm going to run this through my die cut machine. Okay, so now we have a window in here. I'm going to take both pieces, and then in our kit we have some acetate. I'm going to go ahead and trim down a piece and put it behind my tag here. Okay, once we have this glued down, I'm going to take a piece of cardstock, just line it up on the bottom, and trim a piece for behind here. I'm actually going to trim a little bit more, so I don't have to do that later. And then I'm going to take this piece, add some glue behind here. I'm going to line this up behind my window, like this, and then hold it with one hand as best as I can. And then we will tack this down here, so I know that this is lined up. Okay, and then I'm going to put foam tape behind here. Now to fill my shaker, I'm using my Simon Says stamp. This is Starbright Embellishment Mix. These are really heavy cupped sequins, and I'm just going to add some here. I just wanted to go a little light. And then I'll take this, flip it around, and then I'm going to line this up here. Hopefully I have it lined up. Wonderful. So now I have a little bit of sparkle. I'm going to trim this down a little bit. And that's all there is to that. For my first card, we're going to use this tag. I did grab a doily. And then I have this flower cluster. Let's go ahead, take our tag here. I'm going to add it directly to my card base. I'm actually going to fishtail the bottom of this tag, just to give it a little bit of a different look. It's going to be a really low fishtail. Once we have this tacked down, I'm going to take my doily, and we're going to add some glue behind here. We're going to tack this. We're going to overlap it on our tag. And then I put glue behind my little floral cluster. And we're going to add this right over that doily. I think that looks really pretty. Maybe, yeah. Okay, now we need a greeting. And I'm going to be using our greetings that were in our set. And I'm going to use the rectangle dies to cut this out. Let me grab them. You can use your paper trimmer to trim these out if you want. Okay, I'm going to add this here, but I want to keep my yellow flower, so I'm going to remove it. We'll put that somewhere else. And then I'm going to add some glue behind here, and a little bit of, and a few foam squares on this side. And then this little flower, we're going to, let's add this flower somewhere else here, maybe over here. We'll do a little flower rearranging, maybe a little bit so it's overhanging the greeting would be nice. Now I have some flower centers that look kind of bare, so I love doing this, and I'm going to bring in a black fine tip Sharpie. If you have a black gel pen, you can use that, but I'm going to add some little polka dots to the flower centers. Okay, and then I'm going to bring back some of my Starbright sequins, and we're going to add a few sequins on here too. Let's add a little bit of sparkle. I'm going to leave this out because we're going to do our next card next, but there is card number 1. Really not too bulky. For my next card, that's where this frame will come in. I'm going to add glue behind it and tack this down to the center of my card. I'm going to add this here, but I'm going to take a little bit off the bottom. Okay, I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and I think I can go through the foam tape and all and trim maybe a 1/4 inch off the bottom. If I can get it straight. I guess it's kind of crooked. It's a little rough down there, but so I suggest maybe doing this before you put together your shaker. Maybe just trim a little bit off. okay? I'm going to add glue behind here, and then this is going to go tack down right in the center of that frame. For this one, I'm gonna fishtail the ends. So if you use your paper trimmer on this, maybe fishtail the end. I do have a die that has the banners, and I think we need some flowers for the top of this. So rather than stamping and waiting for it to dry, I'm gonna steal some flowers. We're gonna steal some flowers from this little piece here. I'm gonna take maybe this one here. And maybe this one. We're gonna borrow from Peter to pay Paul here. So we'll add these up here at the top of the shaker, and then we want to add a little bit of the foliage too. Do we want to add that? Maybe we need to go underneath the greeting for this. There we go. Okay, I'm loving the way this looks. So this foliage is underneath the greeting, and then these two are on top. Now I'm bringing back my black marker, and we're going to add a little cluster of black dots in this one. Lovely. And then we're going to add a few extra sequins on the outside of this shaker, just like we did the other card. And that finishes that card. Got a little shake in there. Okay, now for my final card, we're going to bring in our little floral strip, and then we're going to tack this down a little bit lower, about a 1/4 inch from the left. Okay, anything overhanging, of course, we can trim away. Now we're going to add our strip. I'm going to put it at an angle. Okay, and then we have this little extra piece that I'm going to tuck over here, maybe over here. I'm going to trim off the bottom here, and we're going to add foliage over here, just doing a little tucking with it. Okay, and then for my greeting, I think we're going to use Happy Wishes for this card. I think that's a good spot. Kind of overlapped the leaf a little bit here. Okay, and then we're going to bring back our black marker and add some black polka dots. And we'll go ahead and bring in some of our sequins, and we'll add a little bit of sparkle. And that will finish that card. Okay, let's take a look at all 3 cards that we made today. Didn't turn out too bad for borrowing for the last card. It worked out great, actually, because the angle of it just fit the card base beautifully. But there was our first card here with the doily, and then we have our little shaker card here, and those are my card projects using the Simon Says Stamp March 2026 card kit called Watercolor Bouquet. It's a fabulous kit, fully loaded, and I hope this gives you a little bit of inspiration. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.